Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Program with Scientier, and I'm remembering my name this time. Hooray! And we're going to continue on this timeline program. So it's been a few days for me since the last recording session, so we're starting here with part 4, which I think you probably saw on the title card. And what that means is I need to remember exactly what I was trying to do. Verify that that thing worked. Okay, so let's just take a quick evaluation of the state of the program. If I remember correctly, when I run this here, it might take it a moment to load up. So the first time when you run it, it has to get a bunch of information. Oh, build errors. Oh no, what did I do? Oh, yep, this business. There's probably going to be another spot, so let's do this. But when you first, load it up, it will probably take it longer to start running the debug, just because there's a bunch of information that's not in memory that it needs to get into memory. So, actually it started up right away. So that's really exciting. Yeah, so right now I have an empty menu item right there for some reason. I'm going to want to figure out what's going on with that. And I have the add event stuff, which technically does things, but nothing's displaying. Okay, cool. So my next task is to get those things to display. So that means I'm going to need to go over here to my timeline control. Okay, and this does not do anything, which is bad. We need this to do something. So I need to figure out how I want to structure this. Taking some drink of water. It's important to keep hydrated, folks. So let's see. What I want to do is I want a list. Do I want a list of these? Yeah, I think I want a list of these. One of these suckers right here. Boom. Timeline events. Okay, so I just remembered I'm going to need to add something that allows me to be able to delete timeline events. So that's going to be important. I'm not sure how I'm going to set that up yet, but I can add a note up here. Add a way to delete timeline events. Because, I might need to do that at some point in time. Boop. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is timeline events dot add EC. Actually, so let's see. Do I want to? So the thing that I need to figure out right now is how I want to display the timeline. And sort of what my initial mental picture is to kind of put events that are at the same date on the same line. So if they have the same raw value. So I'm wondering if I want to, I probably want to sort this. Timeline events dot sort xy x dot date, dot raw value. Actually, does this need to be, so this is going to have the exact same, does it work properly as over here, this guy, right? Because this sort timeline is doing the exact same thing. It's processing off of the exact same piece of information. So I'm going to want to make sure that that method does work. And it's going to test that real solidly. So the reason why I'm sorting it is because this is going to make it a lot easier to arrange, as it were. So let's do this. Actually, okay. So I'm going to make, this is going to be a private, doesn't need to be. So by default, things are private if you don't specify. I'm specifying for no particular reason. Let's see. Organized timeline controls, bool, sort. It's false, so by default, it will not do the sort, but if I specify that, it will. So if sort sort it. And then I can go here and go organize timeline controls, true. But if I just do it without putting anything inside, the equals false here will just render that as false, so it won't automatically do this every single time. That might be redundant, I don't know. I might always want to sort it, but, I might not. And that's the sort of planning ahead that doesn't take particularly extra time. So if I have it there, then it's there. Okay. So then what I need to do is go... yeah, the other thing that I want to do here is... let's see. Controls.add b. I want to add that to its list of controls. Now, when I'm looking at this thing, UDesigner, right up there, I just have a big old box. So what I want to do is turn auto scroll on, I think. Yes. Okay, that should fix potential problems that way, although I need to make sure over here that this one has auto scroll set to true, because that default value won't translate if I don't set it there. Okay. So add this to the list of timeline controls. Add this to the controls list of controls. Organize it. Okay. So what this is going to want to do, it's going to want to go... Let's see. How do I want to handle this? So event... So I'm going to need event controls dot event control base ECB in timeline events. So this should filter through all the controls that are of the right type. And I specifically want to get my ECBs because I need... I could get just control, but I want specifically the event control base because I need to be able to check the date. So I want in last date equals -1 because we can't be at -1, ergo that should do that. Int let's see, because I'm going to need to add... I'm going to need to add labels. Well, I'm not going to worry about any sort of fancy stuff right now. There's time for potentially fancying it up later. I'm just going to do y equals 3, because I like to start stuff off at 3. So if ECB dot date dot raw value is equal to last date, then what we're going to do is actually, I should technically go ahead and make this a timeline date, last date, and then go last date dot raw value equals -1. The reason for this is because this will allow... Oh, can I not do that? I probably can't do that. Oh, yeah, that would be why. Whoop. So the reason why I'm doing this is this will allow me, if I change what raw value is later, to make sure that I'm able to compare these in a way that works. So, and I should probably technically adjust this to have some other sort of comparison, just so that way I can make sure it works. But I'll just add a note. Perhaps add a special comparison. Whoa, that's not how you spell comparison at all. Comparison for timeline dates to support fanciness. Yeah. Okay. So if these are the same, then I don't need to adjust y. I need to adjust the x. So otherwise, last date dot raw value equals ECB dot date dot raw value, and I need to put ECB dot location equals new point 3 comma y plus equal nope. Okay. How do I want to do this? Okay, so I'm gonna need int row height equals 0. This needs to plus equal row height here, and then row height equals ECB dot height. This is plus 3, and the reason why I'm doing plus 3 there is, okay, so to explain some of my logic of what's going on here, this plus 3 is to add some spacing between controls. Then I need to update the dates, that way I can do my comparison here. So what happens is if the date is the same, then they end up on the same row, and it'll expand out to the right. Otherwise, it will go down. And I want to set the location for this control, because I don't need to like remake it or anything. So I just need to remove it or reposition it. So if the position is at 3, or I put the position to 3 and then y. And then I grab the row height. So remember that the split timeline control and the regular timeline event, standard event control, have different heights to them. So I want to capture whatever the highest thing is in this, because this is the first element of a given row. Again, I've sorted it, or at least it's supposed to be sorted. Oh, yeah. Let's just call this first and second to avoid any unfortunate naming convention errors. Because this should be sorted by the time I'm going through here, and if it isn't, it'll break. But because it should be sorted, what will happen is this item will... oh, man, I'm going to need to add in hooks to make sure that this reorganizes things when you change the dates. Okay. To do add hook to reorganize timeline when you change dates. Okay, so that's going to be really important too. Okay, where was my brain? Yeah, so this is going to set a new spot. So I know that this height is kind of the height that I'm dealing with. So right here, I want to go if ECB dot height is greater than row height equals ECB dot height. Okay. So that's a simple check. And we don't need to move y here because y needs to be at the same spot. So let's see. I should probably... okay, this is just going to be prettier if I do this. Put that at xy. I mean, technically, x should actually just equal 3 right here. And then... no, okay. Because this is dumb. Okay, I want this at 3, and then I'm just going to go x equals 3 plus ECB dot width. Because I want, again, the 3 is there for spacing. 3 just happens to be a spacing that I particularly happen to like. You can figure out what spacings you like. Water break. Okay, so looking over the recording, it looks like it's been about 15 minutes. Well, 14 and change. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a location. Location equals new x comma y, and then x plus equals 3 plus ECB dot width. Okay. Is there anything else I need to do with this? I just need to capture the height if it's bigger. I don't need to adjust y. Okay. I think this is about all that I need to do for this. Well, let's make sure it builds. Nope. Of course not. Whoop, that's not the right spot. I should probably highly consider fixing that, but whatever. I'll just suffer through it. Okay, so now when I add a standard event, boom, I can change the date on this to be like that, add a standard event. Okay, so this one should be a head. So if I add another standard event, yeah, it goes there. Let's put that at 2, add a standard event. Okay, so that moves down that way. Just for, right, scrolling, let's move that up. 14, standard event. Okay, now I have, okay, so I have multiple successful scroll bars, so that's good. If I make a split timeline, right here's my split timeline. So I should be able to call this Bob, and it does change this up here, and if I go up here and I add a standard event, I can get a couple standard events. Now, obviously, it's not properly repositioning these things. And also, when it's repositioning them backwards, the wrong way. So what that tells me is that I need to change this sort to be first, second, and back over here. This probably needs to be x minus y. Because remember, that sort should be functioning more or less the same way. Okay, so the other thing that you may have noticed is that my controls looked a little different. So let's go over here. Do you have a border style? No. And I want to change this back color to control light. Okay. Cool. Now then. What's the next step? The next step is hooking up a, okay, I need to go to the base. Control base, view code. Okay, and here I need set up the event for the change in time. Water. Okay, so I just want a public event, event handler. Event handler is just kind of standard. It's the base form of an event. Date changed. Okay, so date changed then needs to get called from my children. So view code right here. I need to, do I actually properly? Probably need to just add a date dot value. What? What? No. Oh, right. Date control is its own thing. Own thing. Okay. So this is going to need to like pass some events through. So let's do this. Public event handler, date changed, and then okay, and then right here I want to go if date changed does not equal null, date changed, this comma null. Okay. Now, it's graying this out because it says this isn't strictly speaking necessary, and that's probably true, but I kind of like having that because it makes me feel more comfortable. Okay, so that's the owning data. And then what I want to do is down here, I want to go date dot date changed. Yeah, that's fine. And then go oh, right. This is split timeline. Okay, so this is the right spot. But I probably added it. Now I've confused myself. Well, this should be having also a public. No. Oh, it already has it. Already has it. Date changed. So if date change is not equal null, again, it's going to tell me this is redundant, but it makes me more comfortable to have it. This null. Okay, so what now? What? Oh. Oh, interesting. So there's an inheritance issue. Okay, that's fascinating. Okay, I'm gonna need to figure out how to fix this one because I've never actually encountered this particular problem before. Maybe if I just make it a delegate, that'll work. Probably. That'll probably work. The delegate instead of an event. Okay, so what if I just make it that? I don't know if that'll fix it or not. That'll fix. Okay, apparently events and delegates work a little bit differently, which doesn't surprise me. Okay, so then I need to go to standard event view code, and I need to do the same sort of thing where I go date dot date changed, and then go if date changed does not equal null, date changed this null. Okay. Now I need to go to my timeline control, excuse me, wrong spot. And then when I add an event, I need to go ECB dot date changed. Let's see. Again, because this is not an event, it's a delegate. It works a little bit differently. So private void date changed handler object sender event args law because I don't care. And then this can equal. I think it should be able to plus equal that. And then organize timeline controls. I do need to sort. So this particular thing, where I keep having to change stuff, is coming up because I decided to name an object the same thing as a namespace, and it's confusing the code as to which thing it's looking inside. So I have to add the global thing so it knows where it's looking. Because by default the object scope overrides the namespace scope, so it's a little annoying. Okay, so I have two standard events, and okay, I wonder why that one's next to each other though. Okay, I'm probably just forgetting something. Whatever. So that's spacing properly now, and when I adjust it, it moves. Except because I keep clicking in the... So this is technically adjusting them, but because of the way things are working, it's not a problem. This is some text. So this is actually shaping up pretty well. I don't know why I have this blank right there. So realistically speaking, the things that I would like to add at this point, actually, I need to figure out some of my spacing stuff because that's a little wonky. I'm going to stretch this out slightly. Just to give it a little bit more buffer space because I think it was smushing a little bit on the right side. I need to figure out why my X is not working correct. 3 plus C width. Oh, this needs to be 6 plus the width. The reason is because it's already been moved over by 3. 6 is because it has already been moved over by 3. So it's sometimes good to put comments in there to remind you of things, and yeah. So this is a problem that I'm fixing that I bring upon myself because I'm naming things poorly. And I don't feel like fixing that because fixing the occasional problem when it pops up is not too big of a deal. Now if I add, see, they're spacing properly. And you can also see that the respacing of that, because what was happening was when I changed to add that border, it was cramping stuff up a little bit. So now I have some events over here, and this is not surprising. Scrolling changes can really mess stuff up. So, like if I add a couple of events to where I can scroll down, see how everything's jumped? That's because I scrolled down, and if I scroll this back up and just adjust that one, it's fixed the scroll, sort of. Yeah, it's fixed the scroll issue. So I'm going to want to figure out how to address the scrolling issues with my positioning. So I'm going to need to look into that. I should be able to solve it if I grab information about client rectangle dot left and client rectangle dot top. And then I just want to take this over here because remember y is staying constant. But if I do that, and then I come over here and I pop one of those up. Okay, so that's still happening. So let's look at the information we've got and see if I can figure out more details. Okay. The client rectangle is 0, 0. Okay. Let's look at this. This is the name of this thing. And okay, so I need auto scroll position. I need to add the auto scroll position information, it looks like, not the client rectangle. Okay, cool. I've learned something. Whoa, that's not how you spell auto scroll position dot x. Wait, no, that's y. Haha. Make sure you're adding the right things, folks, or it will make everything go really badly wrong. And there. Okay, so let's see if that fixes that particular bug. It's a bug I've encountered before, but I've never fixed. So if I go over here and I pop that one up, ooh, baby. Nope, that distinctly did not fix it. That did not fix it at all. Okay, let's see if I can figure out why. U. Okay. Auto scroll position dot y is 0 and dot x is negative 165. So that means default x position is going to be at negative 162. So come in here, that's negative 162, position it, and that's at 161. What? Okay, so you see the problem. It was negative. Now it's distinctly positive. Oh, right, because of the width. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then that adds the width on. Okay, this is debugging, folks. This is a significant part of programming tends to be this debugging process where we try to figure out what's going on. Why is this happening? So that location. Oh, it's because I have default 3 right there. Okay, so this is a magic number coming back to screw me in the rear end, which will happen. Do I have any other magic numbers for position? No. Okay, so let's see if changing this fixes it. I put my auto scroll, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's add some events. Let's scroll over. Let's plus that one. Okay, so that's reset my auto scroll position, but also has fixed the problem. Okay, so let's diversify. Okay, now we've got vertical scroll. If I do that, see, that's moving. That's okay. Now they're both at 3. Now the auto scroll is gone. Yep. Let's add a standard event. Just bump that up a little bit. Bump that up to 6. Oh yeah, and it went above that one, right? And it looks like 1, 2. Yeah, I didn't scroll because I was in the middle of a thingy that like scroll wheel doesn't work over. Scroll wheel doesn't work over text because it's trying to scroll the text box instead of the this control. So 0, 1, 3, 6, and 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So that looks like that has largely solved that particular issue, which is really good. But I look over and I see that I've reached time, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. And next time, my major priority is going to be making sure that split timelines are working properly and just check for bugs over there. Figure out what's going on with this guy and getting some file I/O stuff set up. So that will be next time. Take care, everyone, and bye-bye.